A former Palm Beach County teacher and coach is now under arrest, accused of grooming a student in a deeply troubling abuse of power and trust.
The girl came forward last year, and it seems multiple reports were filed with DCF, school police, and even the sheriff's office. But the man accused, Charles Keith Mackrey, wasn't arrested until this week. Now, some are questioning how a case this serious could take so long. CBS 12's Katie Benty is live tonight outside the Olympic Heights High School in Boca Raton, where this all started. Katie?
Jim, Liz, the campus now is pretty quiet for summer, but this time last August, a student walked through the doors here holding on to a secret that she'd kept for 2 years. But she spoke up, filed the reports, and yet Charles Mackrey wasn't arrested until now. And tonight we're learning that key parts of this investigation may have been closed or possibly never even fully documented.
51-year-old Charles Keith Mackrey spent 6 years at Olympic Heights High School in Boca Raton, teaching classes, coaching basketball, and according to police, grooming a student behind closed doors. The victim says it started in 2022 after she joined his class. Mackrey allegedly sent flirty texts calling her hot and commenting on her appearance. She says the touching started soon after in his classroom and coach's office, about 20 times over 2 years. The redacted arrest affidavit also says Mackrey would FaceTime her late at night, telling her he wanted to run away with her and his youngest child when she turned 18. The student eventually spoke up last August, confiding in a staff member who urged her to come back to campus the next day for help, which she did and filed a report with her father. Reports were also sent to the Department of Children and Families and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. But according to the affidavit, DCF closed its sexual abuse case. And school police say multiple public records requests to PBSO came back empty. In a follow-up interview, the victim said she initially held back with DCF, feeling like, quote, they didn't care after she mentioned hugging. Nearly a year later, Mackrey was finally arrested and faced a judge Wednesday, charged with soliciting or engaging in a romantic relationship with a student, a felony offense. The school's principal sent a letter to families this week confirming Mackrey hadn't worked there in over a year, calling student safety her highest priority. Online, Mackrey lists himself as co-owner of a private youth basketball training business, working with players as young as 8 years old.
We reached out to both DCF and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. PBSO says the only documentation they have of Mackrey is from when they physically went to arrest him this week. And DCF says they're still working on a response for us.
A longtime employee of the Palm Beach County School District is facing disturbing allegations. He's accused of sexually abusing several children while working as a middle school teacher. And now deputies worry there may be more victims. CBS 12's Luli Ortiz has more on the alarming arrest and how this could have gone on for so long. Luli?
Yes, Miguel Benavente has since been removed from his current administrative position. This case goes back more than 30 years, but the trauma is still fresh for one of the survivors who recently came forward. He says the man he trusted, a teacher, groomed him, manipulated him, and robbed him of his childhood.
And one of the district's most passionate educators.
A now deleted Palm Beach County School District video highlights school employee Dr. Miguel Benavente. First hired in 1991, he held multiple positions over the past 3 decades.
If you work hard and you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to make your dreams come true.
But investigators say years ago, behind his trusted role as a Roosevelt middle school teacher, Benavente was allegedly committing against children. An investigation was launched back on June 24th when the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says a former student came forward. This victim described him as a monster, telling deputies Benavente would invite him to his home under the disguise of school help, then isolated him and showed him pornography. The sexual assaults began when the victim was 9 and lasted for another 5 years. Experts say it's not uncommon for victims to come forward about abuse years later.
It's actually more the norm, taking that long. Delayed disclosure isn't unusual. It's a trauma response. Shame and fear keep people silent. Also, children often blame themselves. They don't think they'll be believed. The abuse can also be very confusing and manipulative to a child. So there are a number of reasons, but it's not unusual for people to either not disclose or take a long time to disclose.
Records show similar allegations were brought against Benavente in 2000. involving another former Roosevelt Middle School student who was just 14 at the time. That case was dismissed because the statute of limitations had run out. In court on Wednesday, we heard some details about the suspect's background. His lawyer spoke about Benavente's, quote, spotless reputation and being a family man.
Do you have any comment at all about this man?
Have a good day.
CBS 12 News tried to speak with his wife, son, as well as their attorney, but all refused to provide a statement.
And he remains behind bars here, charged with sexual battery of a child under 12. He's been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the criminal investigation and an internal review. Detectives are asking other victims to come forward.
It's a case we hear far too often in our community. A trusted educator accused of crossing the line with a student. A Vero Beach man, once named Teacher of the Year, is behind bars facing serious charges. CBS 12's Luli Ortiz joins us outside Indian River Prep, an alternative school in Vero Beach, with what we know right now. Luli?
Authorities say Audley Hewitt was a teacher here. While his information has since been removed from the school's website, his disturbing charges can be found on the jail's inmate database: sex solicitation involving a minor, as well as battery.
The Indian River County Sheriff's Office sprang into action after allegations involving Audley Hewitt came to light. On Thursday, deputies arrested the 61-year-old, an IR prep teacher, an alternative school for students in grades 6 through 12. It all started after a student came forward to school officials and reported Hewitt was allegedly engaging in inappropriate relationships with a student. The school district notified authorities and the Department of Children and Families. A sheriff's office spokesperson tells CBS 12 News the allegations occurred between January 22nd and March, but couldn't provide details as to when authorities got involved in this criminal case. What's especially shocking for many in this community is this Facebook photo. Hewitt seen here being honored after he was named Teacher of the Year in 2022. Right now, the district superintendent has already initiated the termination process.
After Hewitt's arrest, both the school district and the sheriff's office shared a similar message. They are committed in protecting our students. We can expect more details about this criminal case once the probable cause report is released.
Emotional filled trial that lasted days. A jury now reaching a verdict in the case of a former Palm Beach County teacher. He was accused of having a relationship with his student and helping her assist her in her suicide attempt. Damian Conti was, however, found guilty of having sex with a minor, not guilty on another charge. This came in just about an hour ago. He was again found guilty for having sex with a minor, but the jury failed to convict him for allegedly helping the victim to try to kill herself. CBS 12's Al Peffley, he has been following this trial throughout the few days and joins us now at the courthouse with the breaking developments.
It took the jury a little less than 2 hours to reach a verdict. They found Damian Conti guilty of unlawful sexual activity with a minor by a school authority figure, and they found him not guilty of attempted assisted self-murder. Here's a look at what the attorneys had to say in their closing arguments earlier today. The jury heard two very different views of the case as the attorneys for each side gave their closing arguments. In the courtroom, they referred to the alleged victim by her initials, SLM.
It is illegal for a 36-year-old man to have vaginal sex, oral sex, digitally penetrate a 16-year-old girl. Mr. Conti did not act appropriately when it came to SLM. And although he had a romantic relationship with her, it never got physical.
The defense says the state has failed to prove the case, and there is too much reasonable doubt for the jury to find Conti guilty.
No unlawful sexual activity occurred in this case.
The defense says Conti and the female student did a lot of sexting, but their relationship never went beyond that. The prosecution, however, says Conti crossed the line with the girl many times, and they had sex nearly every day. The prosecution says Conti used his authority over the girl for his own sexual gratification.
Once he knew that she had trust in him, he manipulated her in every which way to make sure that he could get that sexual gratification whenever he wanted, as often as he wanted.
The prosecutors also showed the jury the rope the girl bought at Home Depot and used to attempt to kill herself once the word had spread at school that she was involved in a romantic relationship with her teacher. The defense says Conti did not assist the girl in her attempt to take her own life.
Mr. Conti never told her that he wanted to participate in a suicide, and his actions never showed that he wanted to participate in a suicide. What he was doing at Home Depot was shaking, running away, saying, no, 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 don't harm yourself.
Use your common sense, ladies and gentlemen. Do not overthink this. We trust that you will do the right thing. We are asking that you find him guilty as charged to every single count.
Conti did not testify in his own defense. His sentencing date is now August 15th. I'm told he's facing up to 120 years in prison.